I knocked on David's door, holding a wooden train I'd carved myself, the kind with wheels that actually turned. Through the window, I could see my grandson running circles around the living room. Then I saw her, standing by herself near the snack table, pretending to check her phone. 3 weeks ago, Jennifer had posted a photo holding champagne, captioned, "Finally free. He lost everything and I won." Got 127 likes. Her friends filled the comments with celebration emojis and messages like, "You deserve this, and he never appreciated you anyway." I'm 58 years old. We were married for 26 years. It started on a Tuesday afternoon last year when I came home early from a client meeting. Jennifer was in the kitchen on speakerphone, laughing in a way she hadn't laughed with me in years. "He's completely oblivious," she said. "Honestly, it's almost too easy. Once this is over, maybe I'll take you to that place by the lake instead." I stood in the hallway holding my briefcase, feeling something crack inside my chest. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying her words, trying to find another explanation. By morning, I knew there wasn't one. So I did something I'd never done before. I made a plan that had nothing to do with trust or hope. I called an old colleague named Richard who specialized in asset protection law. 2 weeks later, I sat in his office learning words I'd never needed before. Irrevocable trusts, limited liability companies, generational transfers. Richard explained that this wasn't about hiding money. It was about protecting what I'd built. For the next 11 months, I became invisible. I smiled at breakfast. I asked about her day. I did the dishes without being asked. Jennifer went to book clubs that lasted until midnight and took phone calls in the garage. Meanwhile, I quietly restructured everything we owned. The lake house went into the Riverside Property Trust. The cabin transferred to an LLC I'd formed 3 months earlier. The Colorado land moved into a family trust with David listed as primary beneficiary. Technically, I didn't own any of it anymore. I was just connected to it. Jennifer redecorated the living room. She talked about where we travel when we were tired. I nodded and made coffee. Then last month, she filed for divorce. Her attorney sent a settlement proposal demanding 65% of all marital assets, permanent alimony, the main house, and shared ownership of both vacation properties. The cover letter said, "We trust your client will want to handle this matter quietly and reasonably." The mediation happened on a Thursday morning. Jennifer's lawyer walked in carrying a leather portfolio, looking like he'd already won. Richard arrived with a 3-inch binder. He slid it across the table without saying a word. Jennifer's attorney opened it. I watched his expression change as he flipped through page after page of documentation. Property transfers, formation, trust agreements, every single one dated and notarized months before any separation. "This property," he said, pointing to the lake house. "When was this transferred?" 14 months ago, Richard replied, "into an irrevocable trust. And this cabin, gifted to their son through a generational skip trust. 13 months ago. He's the legal owner now." Jennifer's face went white. "You gave David the cabin. I protected it," I said quietly. "There's a difference." Her lawyer looked like he might be sick. "None of this was disclosed in discovery. You asked for assets owned by my client," Richard said. "He doesn't own these anymore. You asked the wrong questions." The mediator suggested we take a break. Jennifer just stared at the papers like they might rearrange themselves into something different. But here's what really broke her. The thing that made her accountant call her the next day, almost in tears. The boat she named New Beginnings and spent months customizing, transferred to my LLC 17 months ago. The main house she assumed she'd keep, I'd sold it the previous week through the trust to a young family with twins. She actually drove there 2 days ago and knocked on the door. A confused woman holding a baby answered, wondering why a stranger was asking to come inside. When Jennifer's accountant finally reached her, he had to explain that she had legal claim to exactly one asset, her car. The final settlement was signed last Friday. No spousal support, no shared property, no future claims. And one additional clause I'd insisted on, all social media posts about me had to be deleted within 48 hours or the agreement was void. She signed without looking up. So there I was at my grandson's birthday party, watching this little boy's face light up when he saw the train I'd made him. David hugged me and said, "Thanks for coming, Dad." My grandson climbed into my lap and asked if I could make him a boat next. Across the room, Jennifer stood alone, scrolling through her phone. She'd posted that I was losing everything that she'd won. Turns out she was describing herself the whole time.